The power of selfishness is a force to be reckoned with. It is one of the worst human habits that can lead us down a destructive path. However, it is important to know that we have the ability to overcome this negative trait and turn it into a positive one. Since we are children, we are taught that it is bad to be selfish. They tell us that being selfish is thinking only of ourselves, prioritizing our needs and desires above everything else. In short, selfishness brings with it a host of unflattering references to damage caused, discord in our relationships, and more. However, it is important to see the other side of the coin and recognize that this habit is not fixed or permanent. We have the power to change and grow thanks to well-managed selfishness. Being selfish is a negative lifestyle that should be avoided. However, if we think more positively, prioritizing oneself is not all bad. The nature of humans is to care about their personal needs. Selfishness, often seen as a negative trait, can have a positive side when practiced in a healthy and balanced way. This positive selfishness focuses on self-care and self-esteem without neglecting the needs of others. You will always feel in a better state if you can satisfy your legitimate needs. And the truth is that only when you are in the best state will you be able to generate positive energy for your life and the lives of those around you. If you or those around you still have doubts about this concept, today I will present 10 lessons that could give you a different vision on measured selfishness that can bring significant benefits to your development. Are you ready? Follow us to the end. You will be surprised by your new perspective, a completely different one on selfishness. Lesson number 1. Stay determined and focused on your goals. We often face choices between selfishness and sacrifice, but through the lens of Stoicism, we see that sometimes selfishness is not malevolence. It is strength, especially when it comes to standing firm. When focusing on your goals, a little selfishness doesn't hurt. It may be the key to achieving greatness. Goals are not just destinations, but beacons that guide our spiritual journey. They represent not only material success, but the refinement of ourselves and the constant development of our character. Perseverance is not just perseverance, but an expression of self-discipline, a central tenet of Stoicism in a world full of distractions. Focus is a form of noble selfishness. By eliminating annoyances and focusing on what we are truly pursuing, we not only respect our own time and energy, but also affirm the power of individual will to shape our destiny. When we choose to face challenges without backing down, we not only practice perseverance, but we also hone our souls and prepare for greater battles in the future. The journey of self-improvement may seem paradoxical, but by pursuing personal goals, our selfishness can become an inspiration to others. As we improve, we are more able to contribute to the community. This is one of the most profound lessons that Stoicism offers. Through experience and personal development, we elevate the world around us. Perseverance and focus are not just tools, but the embodiment of the philosophy of life, a reminder that in the right kind of selfishness, we find the strength to overcome, grow, and most importantly, contribute by prioritizing ourselves and our goals. We open a world where each individual is the best version of themselves. Lesson number 2. Prioritize yourself. Loving yourself means always prioritizing joy and peace from within. Appreciate your own life and not consider it selfish. There's a reason flight attendants instruct us to put on our oxygen masks before helping others in an in-flight emergency when you run out of oxygen. You cannot provide help to another person when you are exhausted or unhappy. It is a challenge to bring positivity to those around you. This reveals an important lesson in Stoic philosophy. Valuing self-prioritization is not only an act of self-care, but also a duty to ourselves, to the community, and to everyone around us. Many times we get caught up in the whirlwind of work responsibilities and relationships to the point of neglecting ourselves. We strive to serve everyone around us, forgetting that to serve effectively, we must put aside our ego, but never neglect ourselves. Prioritizing yourself does not mean always putting yourself above others in every situation, but rather being aware and taking care of your own needs so that you can be strong and able to support others effectively. This requires balance, a high degree of self-awareness, and most importantly, a heart willing to see oneself honestly and fairly. When you begin to see that prioritizing yourself is not only a right, but also a responsibility, you will discover the latent power of self-care and realize that by investing in yourself, you are investing in your ability to make a positive difference in the lives of others. Stoicism teaches us not only how to face difficulties, but also how to live a meaningful and purposeful life, and the foundation for that life is understanding and applying the value of self-prioritization. Selfishness, generally seen as something negative, has a positive side that is not often mentioned. This positive side is based on self-care, an essential component of personal well-being. When you start with yourself, you're not only building a resilient soul, but also creating a greater impact on the world around you. Lesson number 3, learn from failures and setbacks. You can't always sign a contract, you don't win every game, you don't always get what you want. Failure is common, and the most worrying question is, what will I do after this failure? Simple. You get up and back in the race. You know that life doesn't wait for you, it doesn't care if you feel sorry for yourself. You can't sit around all day in a bad mood. After you fall, you get up and try again and again until you succeed. In life, failure is as important a part as success. Both losses and victories are to be expected. The most important thing is to think about how to make sure you don't fail in the same way a second time. Remember that life is a series of trial and error experiences. The theme of success and failure are always intertwined, because through failure, we grow and learn. Failure shows us our flaws, our imperfections, and the things we need to improve to achieve your goals, fulfill your desires, and turn your dreams into reality. You must work and fail over and over again. It's part of life. You just can't fail on your last try. If you have never experienced failure, it means that you have not been completely devoted or diligent in your endeavor, as Marcus Aurelius said. Let them not hear you complain even to yourself. This means that we must accept failure as an inseparable part of life and use it as a springboard. Failure to grow is part of the learning process. Not only does it help us see our goals and passions more clearly, but it also allows us to identify the new skills and strategies needed to overcome challenges. We learn how to be resilient, how to adapt, and how to keep moving forward, even when the path forward is unclear. Remember, within every failure, there is an opportunity to reinvent yourself and refine your path. By accepting failure and learning from it, you not only become stronger, but also wiser and more flexible in the face of adversity. Lesson number 4, build trust. To overcome obstacles and embrace them, confidence is a beacon of light of love, illuminating the path forward, not only in the belief in one's abilities, but also a deep understanding of the ability to handle and overcome any situation. It represents a strong identity, a solid foundation for every step in life's journey, in every challenge. Every time we step out of our comfort zone, we learn not only about the world around us, but also about ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, a model of inner strength and adaptability, wrote that every difficulty, every challenge, is an opportunity for personal improvement and to strengthen self-confidence. This is the essence of confidence, a powerful resource that, when cultivated, not only helps us face and overcome different difficulties, but also becomes a positive force, ready and able to help others without diminishing our value. Trust helps us position ourselves as an integral part of the community, someone who can contribute, share, and support. Imagine that you are in front of a large crowd, all eyes on you, your heart races, anxiety mixes with excitement, but then you start speaking one word at a time. Each word you speak resonates, not only in the room but also within your soul, dispelling all fears, all worries. When you finish, the warm applause from the audience is not just recognition of a successful speech, but an affirmation of the mental strength and confidence you have built. Building trust is not an easy process, but it is possible and extremely important. By applying this lesson, we learn how to embrace and transform selfishness into a powerful tool for personal growth and success. Remember that every step and every challenge you overcome is not just a small victory, but an important milestone in the journey of building the strength of confidence. We all have challenges and defining moments that shape our belief in ourselves. Lesson number 5, seek personal improvement. This is achieved through self-reflection and discipline. Let's look at this example from the story of Alex, who has made self-reflection an indispensable part of his nightly routine. Every night, spend a few minutes reflecting on your relationships and your behaviors throughout the day. The question is not how successful was I today, but how did I become a better person today? Over time, he realized that he often let his emotions control him, and so he sought ways to manage them more effectively. This was a leap forward in his personal development, a step that can only be achieved through the discipline of self-reflection. On the other hand, is the door to true freedom. Maria, an artist, demonstrated this through her decision to dedicate 2 hours every day to her work, regardless of her emotions at the moment. By adhering to this schedule, he not only improved his skills, but also developed a unique artistic style that laid the foundation for his career. This shows that discipline not only increases efficiency at work, but is also crucial to achieving personal fulfillment and satisfaction. The journey of self-improvement through self-reflection and discipline is challenging, but immensely rewarding. By taking the time to reflect and apply discipline in all aspects of life, we not only achieve personal goals, but we also contribute to creating a better world. This is the true power of selfishness that Stoicism wants us to understand and apply. A selfishness that not only benefits us, but everyone. Remember that no step forward is too small. Every day, every decision we make is a step forward on the path to personal improvement. By disciplining yourself and reflecting on yourself daily, you will witness your transformation and how you see the world around you. Lesson number 6. Surround yourself with people who support and inspire you. Choosing our travel companions is not only a strategic decision, but also an art. Each individual we choose to connect with is a ray of light that illuminates us and guides us through the darkness of doubt and fear. Seneca once wrote, "We are waves of the same sea, leaves of the same tree, flowers of the same garden." The environment we choose to live in and the people we surround ourselves with shape our identity, subtly molding and distilling the best qualities within each of us. Stoicism teaches us not only how to endure difficulties, but also how to seek and cultivate positive relationships. We are encouraged to seek closeness with people who not only understand the value of words of encouragement, but are also willing to face challenges together, push boundaries, and share joy. We grow through each meeting and interaction. We learn to be more flexible in our thinking, firmer in our goals, and more grateful in all circumstances. Traveling with those who support and inspire us is not just about sharing goals or interests. It is about creating a space where respect, compassion, and unconditional acceptance are elevated as principles for living these relationships. They become invaluable resources that help us maintain an optimistic spirit while awakening the inner strength to face any challenge. In the world of Stoicism, the space around us is not only the place where we exist, but also a laboratory for growth and learning. Everyone we meet is not only a lesson, but also an opportunity to reflect and improve. By building and maintaining relationships with positive people, we not only create an environment that fosters success, but we also establish a solid foundation for a happy and meaningful life. Lesson number 7. Embrace solitude to discover your passions and strengths. Have you ever felt surrounded by an endless ocean, even when you are in the middle of a bustling crowd? Have you ever felt like an island surrounded by indescribable loneliness? Loneliness can be a mandatory lesson in the process of growing up. After all, life is like that. There will be nights that you will have to overcome by yourself, alone. On days alone, it seems as if time stretched on endlessly. However, looking back at the years that have passed, you will see that beyond loneliness, there is also inner strength in each of those scenarios. When you are alone, you feel that you really own the world. You can see the sun rise and set, hear the wind and the birds sing happily, smell the fragrance of flowers and grass. Turn each page of a book without interruptions. When you are alone, your senses seem to free themselves from the daily burdens, becoming more refined. Do not fear loneliness. By peacefully accepting loneliness, we can truly mature. Loneliness is a flower that blooms in the darkness. The quieter it is, the more fragrant it blooms. When you are in a state of loneliness, do not try to escape, because the more you try to escape, the stronger it holds on. Instead, hold his hand and dance to your music. Enjoy the quiet moments in life. If you're feeling lonely, make yourself a delicious cup of tea and read a good book instead of killing time on your phone. You can be sure that that steaming cup will give you comforting warmth, and reading a good book will heal some deep internal wounds, helping you become stronger and more mature. Or you can just do nothing, curl up quietly in a corner of the room, listen to your favorite music, and enjoy that moment alone. Remember that sometimes there will be scorching sun and storms along the way. There will be hot sand and muddy ground under your feet. But one thing is for sure, those feet will become more and more resilient with this lesson, if you learn to accept loneliness. Lesson number 8, own your happiness and success. Shape your destiny in a world where external validation has become the norm. Stoicism reminds us that we must take responsibility for our happiness and success by rejecting the search for external validation and acceptance. In this context, embracing selfishness is not just a choice, but becomes an art form, the art of transforming the self into a tool for personal transformation and success. This is not an act of selfishness in a negative sense, but rather an affirmation of valuing yourself and your journey toward true happiness and success. A classic example of the application of this philosophy can be found in the story of Mark, a young entrepreneur. Mark spent years trying to build his company based on the opinions and desires of others. He always sought external approval to validate his self-esteem and his ideas. However, despite achieving certain successes, Mark felt unhappy and dissatisfied. It wasn't until he began to focus on personal development, listening to himself and trusting himself without depending on the opinions of others, that he truly began to see a transformation. He accepted that to be successful, he needed to learn to be selfish in the sense of prioritizing the personal, developing and pursuing his passions without being affected by the criticism or expectations of others. When Mark began applying this perspective to his life and work, he not only felt happier and more fulfilled, but he also saw his company become stronger than ever. He felt that he did not come to seek external acceptance, but because he learned to accept and trust himself. Through Mark's story, we see that we do not need external validation to feel happy or successful, but rather accept and apply selfishness. Selectively and intelligently, open the door to true freedom, happiness, and success. This is the power of recognizing and transforming oneself, a valuable lesson of Stoic philosophy, a lesson not only for Mark but for all of us on the journey toward finding the meaning and purpose of our lives. Lesson number 9. Embrace selfishness for personal transformation and success. Imagine a gardener dedicated every day to taking care of every plant and flower bush in his garden without leaving any corner neglected. He knows that maintaining a flourishing garden requires not only hard work, but also patience and a deep understanding of each type of plant. In this example, the garden symbolizes the life of each individual, and the gardener represents those of us who seek personal transformation and success. Selfishness here is not about ignoring everything around us, but rather focuses on nurturing ourselves to grow and contribute more to the world around us. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom and happiness come from understanding and managing ourselves by taking the time to recognize and accept ourselves. We learn to love and respect each other. This transformation not only changes us, but also has the potential to drive positive change in the community. This is the noblest form of selfishness, where self-care not only helps our personal development, but also serves as inspiration and strength for others. Embracing selfishness for personal transformation and success is not just a lesson in how to become self-centered, but a reminder of the power of autonomy and continuous self-improvement. Put yourself first, not in a selfish and narrow-minded way, but to nurture and develop a strong, compassionate and understanding self, capable of making positive changes, not only within ourselves, but also extending them to the world around us, and inspire others. Lesson number 10. Be selfish without harming others. From the perspective of Stoicism, selfishness is redefined. It is not about refusing to share or not caring about others, but true selfishness is a journey of self-awareness and intelligent self-management. Recognize that personal development is not only beneficial for oneself, but also has the potential to inspire and empower those around us. To live according to this principle, we need to develop a deep self, understand the awareness of our actions and their impact on others. This requires careful consideration and a continuous process of questioning. If my action hurts someone, am I achieving my goals without causing negative consequences for others? This is not an easy process. It requires patience, compassion, and an open heart. So how can we apply this lesson specifically and effectively? First, start by questioning and evaluating your own goals and motives. Consider whether your goals truly reflect your values and principles, and whether you're moving forward without problems or harm to others. Then develop an open mindset. Be aware of your impact on others and the world around you. And finally, always seek a balance between personal development and maintaining good and respectful relationships with others. Applying this lesson in life not only helps us become better people, but also lays a solid foundation for building meaningful and lasting relationships. By acting on this principle, we not only realize the true value of self-care, but we also gain a deep understanding of the connection and interaction between ourselves and the world around us. This lesson is not just about selfishness, it is about dedication, freedom, and ultimately, love. Love for oneself, for others, and for the life we experience in the light of Stoicism. We have explored together the power of selfishness, a deep and meaningful inner journey. In the challenging journey of life, we often search for happiness and success as if they were something distant and elusive. But if we stop for a moment and look deeply into their true nature, you will realize that we already possess the key. Stoicism teaches that everything you need to achieve happiness and success is already in your hands. This is not a wild secret or a complicated formula, but a simple truth. Let's explore how to own your happiness and success by applying this philosophy to your daily life. An important step on the path to self-discovery and change. Selfishness is not inherent in evil, contempt, or disregard for those around us. Healthy selfishness is a valuable tool to achieve personal well-being and contribute to your environment in a positive way. Positive selfishness allows you to take care of yourself, strengthen your self-esteem, and achieve your goals without neglecting the well-being of others. Positive selfishness leads you to focus on your needs and desires, giving you the power to strengthen your self-esteem and confidence. It invites you to take care of yourself and enjoy your hobbies and pastimes, increasing your happiness and satisfaction with life. Focusing on achieving personal goals and dreams drives you to action and personal development while motivating those around you with your example. Remember that being selfish also allows you to establish limits and know how to say no to requests that overwhelm you or divert you from your goals. What did you think of the topic we unraveled in our conversation today? Did you ever imagine that selfishness could have such positive aspects? I read you in the comments. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you liked today's teaching, give us a like. I wait for you at our next meeting so that we continue walking and growing together in timeless Stoic wisdom.